Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, what is poppin', lockin', and what is dropping? We have officially made it the end of week 4, but not only that, but we've also officially ended the month of January. That is right. Starting the month off in February, the month of love, which I still need to look for. We got the week 4 recap up pretty well. The weights are still a little fluctuating. We're still in that plateau, not dramatically. We are decreasing ever so slightly in the weight. Good news is we're decreasing, and that's all that really matters. So I think we're going to go ahead and go over the weights for the week 4. All right, so Sunday, January 26th, we have 203.9 pounds. And January 27th, Monday, we have 203.3 pounds. On Tuesday, we have 203 pounds even. Wednesday, we have 202.4 pounds. On Thursday, the 30th, we have 203.9, so it did go up quite a bit on that Thursday. And then the Friday, we got 203.7, and then ending the week 4, but beginning of February, which is February 1st, which is the Saturday, we have 204 pounds even. This was kind of weight week because it was going down pretty early in the week, and then we just spiked up like 2, which I thought that was a bit odd. I don't know if it was like something, or because my calorie intake seemed to be pretty low throughout the week. I mean, maybe, I don't know, like, but we also burned an average about 600 calories. I don't really know why it was going up for this couple of those weeks. I think yesterday, Saturday, the scale read like 208. I was like, oh, there's no way I gained 4 pounds. And like, I may have to look into getting a new scale, but if I adjust it right when I weigh myself, then it does give me the good average that I want. So like today, for example, today's weight, I weigh 202.2 pounds. So it's actually the lowest I've ever weighed, 202.2. But I also didn't really eat anything yesterday. I think I consumed like 2,200 and I burned 1,200. My caloric intake, actually, I need to add some water too because I drink a bottle of water before we go into bed. Get that in real quick. So that was 72 fluid ounces of water, which is actually pretty good for what we're looking for. So going over the protein, because that was definitely our main concern, was the protein. It was getting up there, but it goes from like 256 like 318 because all the calories I've been burning. So we try to increase our protein. It just somehow never wants to get to the level that we want. So it's like almost possible unless I eat like 6 shrimp every meal, then, low fat, high protein. The protein was still kind of need to look into, but yeah. But for week 4, we did all the exercises. My push day short video, for some reason, is not working correctly. Or the video is so bad that no one's watching it. So, but my leg day and my pull day are getting a handful of views, which is nice. But my push day video, for some reason, is not getting any views. I did re-upload it just to see what happens if it gets 0 views. I'm just going to say screw it and just leave it on there. Just, just be me in there. Meals for the week. The breakfast were the Lovers Breakfast Bowls by Jimmy Dean. Oh, those are high in calories. I didn't realize how high in calories they were. They were like 490 calories per bowl. And it was given a protein, like only grams for having like sausage, bacon in it, and egg. Seemed a little odd. For only 22 grams of protein out of 490, that seems a little low. But the fat intake was also like really high too. So actually, I can kind of go. The Meat Lover's Breakfast Bowl by Jimmy Dean has 490 calories, 16 grams of carbs, 22 grams of protein, and 37 grams of fat. So those Jimmy Dean bowls, I don't think they're the way to go, but they were pretty convenient. So I was going to get some for that. But we're definitely eliminating that. Breakfast for this week will be uploaded on the grocery haul video. That should be out tomorrow, February 3rd. So more things for week 4. We did accomplish the bench pressing without failing. Yes. But on top of that, we're also changing up the workout routine. So before we were doing 10, 5, 15s. So the 10 rep, and then you multiply the 10 rep by 1.5 to get yourself the 5 rep weight. And then you take your 10 rep and multiply by 0.75 to get your 15 rep. So we're going to change that a bit because I think the 5 rep is a little too much weight for me. So we're actually going to do 5 to 7 reps, and we multiply the 10 rep weight by 1.33. So we're getting like a third weight added on to the 10 weight. So the 10 rep weight is just like the standard, or I would call it like the warm up weight almost. But we're also going to be changing the orientation of the reps. So we're going to be starting out doing 15 and then going to 10 and then going to the 5-7. So we're going to start out cardio and then go into strength. Now, we're going to see how this goes. I feel like, though, we're going to have to revert that. So start off with the strength and end with the cardio, just because I think starting off the cardio will kind of drain me out going into the max. And I think someone left a comment on my one of my videos for that. So should listen to that person at the beginning because my idea was to have the 10 rep warm up and then the strength reps and then the cardio reps at the end. That was just kind of my general thing. But I don't know. I might just keep it the way it is just because we're lowering the weight. But I figure we'll kind of mix a little bit and just see how it goes. But if it's something a little too advanced, then, or if it tires me out more, then I think we're going to go back to the original or start off with the strength. But I think the 10 reps really nice because it's almost like a warm-up set. It's like the way I think about it. So goals going into week 5. Obviously the same goal over and over again, just increase your protein. Our protein has been increasing, but it's not meeting our goal. And I think it's going to be very difficult for that to happen just because eating a bunch of protein is not only very expensive, it can also cancel out a lot of the food selections that I want incorporated into my diet as well. And I also don't eat that much anymore. So it's kind of, I don't want to force feed myself either. If I feel full, then I feel full because I'm trying to lose weight here. I'm not really trying to just get big. I'll walk like a storm cloud walking around. All right, I just want to look lean. That's all I really want. But I still want to figure, so that's why I'm more working out than anything. We're also going to be trying to implement a new series onto the channel, and something that I've signed up for. It's happening in April for all my Richmond, Virginia folks participating in the New Crops Monument 10K. So I do it every year. I think been doing it for the past like 2 years or something like that. But this, I usually walk it. Like I'll run a little bit, but I am not a runner whatsoever. Earlier in the weight loss journey, I actually did run. I would do 3 miles. That really helped me out. And I think I need to start pushing myself more to doing running, especially getting ready for the 10K. So I'm going to try to start a new series. Because filming and running is quite difficult. But start the series for the Monument 10K. I don't really have a goal yet. I think once I start the series, I'll kind of explain a little bit more and be like, hey, this is your average time now versus your average time right before the race. So, or the Monument 10K, I should say, not the race, because it's technically not a race. But I guess it is because it's not. I guess the only thing to be racing is yourself about what time you would want to advance and so on. So, we'll be doing that. And that happens April 12th. April 12th is the Monument 10K. So we're definitely going to be doing that. But in addition of ending week 4, we have also accomplished the entire month of January. We went through January like a tornado goes through Oklahoma. And man, oh man, that's great because we actually decreased a good amount of weight from the beginning. We did weigh 207 at the beginning of this journey, and now, as of this moment of this video recording, we are 202.2 pounds. So that is almost 5 pounds down, which is crazy. Actually, it's more than 5 because it was 207.9 when it started out. Now it's 202.2. So it's actually more than 5 pounds. We're actually going to go over the everything for the month of January. So we're going to start with the 3 graphs that HitMeal provides. And the first one being the weight progress. So according to HitMeal, the results after 1 month, we lowered 3.3 pounds, but that's just like getting the averages and so on. So our average weight for January is 203.8 pounds. That is our first average weight of the weight loss journey, so that's definitely keep something in mind. Obviously, we want to get lower than that in February, but it says after 1 month at 3.3. So the ideal goal is to get our average weight in February lower, 3.3 pounds lower than in January. So 203.8 pounds in January. Our goal for February is 200.5 pounds or anything lower than that. So is it something we can do? I think with the running, definitely, because running burns the crap out of some calories and also shreds weight down pretty well too. Just as much as, walking well, so but I've been walking for a long time. But running is definitely the thing to do. As you can see, we have the chart here of the weight loss throughout January, and as you can see, we started high, and we are now going down, but it was a slow decrease, and then there was a little jump up, and it's going back down to a decrease. So that's something that, you know, we wanted to get a steady decrease, but it's, I mean, you know, from our starting weight, and that's all that really matters. So that is our weight for January. And then now we're going to go over energy balance. So energy balance is essentially just the calories you consumed plus the calories you burn, and then that's your total intake of calories per day throughout the month of January. And it looks like here our average calorie intake 2,565 calories, which is around the calorie intake goal that is recommending for us. So that's pretty good. I mean, I think we have to do anything really to get better or worse with it, just because it's around where the average calorie intake per day that is recommending. So that's great. Burning calories could probably increase a little bit though, but you can see where the 20 mark is, the super low chart. Those are the 2 days I went to Baltimore and did not eat anything. So those numbers are going to be really low. I think we're pretty good on the energy balance though. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're chilling pretty hard on that one. So we're gonna leave that alone. We'll see how February goes. If we need to decrease our calorie intake, or we even need to increase our calorie intake because we're eating so low. The goal, though, is to not get under 2,000, because that is considered dangerous. So I think it's like you take your body weight and you put a 0 at the end of it, and that's how many calories you should not be eating below. I think maintaining weight, I want to say it's like 3,100 calories, something like that, with all the exercise that I've been doing. So our water intake, now this one's going to need some work because as you can see on the chart, it is pretty low. We do have the one huge spike here, that's 115 fluid ounces. So good old water intake here. Our average for January of 2025, you have 57.1 fluid ounces out of the recommendation of 127 fluid ounces, which is about a gallon. Water is definitely going to be something we have to improve on. I mean, we're less than half of what it's recommending. That is so we are going to have to definitely increase our water intake, because otherwise I'm going to be dehydrated, like really dehydrated in February and continue on. And we can't have that, because hydration is pretty important when it comes to weight loss. So, and then the last thing that I kind of over is that doesn't show on here, which is really stupid. I think it's something we definitely need to improve on. But I think we need to go ahead and take our macros into consideration. So kind of go carbohydrates. I'll put the average number of the carbohydrates, the protein, and the fats onto somewhere as I go over them. So. All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world. We had to change the scenery up here a little bit just because I had to manually get the macro calculations. So, because the app doesn't do it and kind of sucks. So, we're going to start with carbohydrates. Now, I don't think I've ever had a problem with carbohydrates, especially because I am gluten intolerant. So, all my carbohydrates really came from fruits and vegetables, except for a couple times I had rice and a little bit of potatoes that were in the breakfast bowls. So, out of the month of January, we had an average of 175.4 grams of carbohydrates out of the 250 that it's recommending. Now, this is the carbohydrate average of just not doing anything, because when you burn calories, your intake increases. So, I'm not really putting that in consideration. But so we have 175.4 grams of carbohydrates out of the 250 that's recommended. So again, I don't think carbohydrates is much of an issue for me, especially since a lot of the unhealthy carbohydrates I can't really have anyways, or else I'll just get sick. So something about consideration for that. Protein. Now this is where we start getting a little worrisome. So protein, we have 178.4 grams of protein averaged throughout the month of January out of 219. So protein intake's a little bit interesting, because your average protein intake by just multiplying your body weight by 1, or just your body weight, is typically, or it's like you multiply it by your body weight by 0.8 or so, and that's where you get your protein intake to. I don't know, there's a lot of different ways of calculating it, but whatever. But the app is giving us a pretty high course of protein. So 219, and we are taking in 178.4 Protein definitely needs to be changed just because it is definitely on the lower side, but getting your protein in can be a little bit of a challenge. So I may have to start incorporating protein powder into, I don't know, my waters or something to keep me hydrated. I don't know. So protein's definitely going to be something we have to consider into. But the worst of them all, we got our fat intake. And we have an average of 190.4 grams of fat out of the recommended, which is 60. Ooh, man, we are way past double on that, man. So, but something and to put in consideration, because of my gluten intolerant, a lot of things that I need to make up for is with fats. So, with decreasing our carbohydrate, and start increasing our fat is probably something that we're gonna have to do. But I think decreasing the fat is definitely gonna be something in handy. But the good news is it's not like unhealthy fats either. It's grapeseed oils, salted butters, which is grass-fed butters, which it's not bad at all. Not a bad fat, not too much of it either. Avocados, there's sometimes I have avocados. They're all healthy fats. They're not unhealthy fats. So it's not like deep fried oils and stuff with it, like most potato chips are made out of. So definitely gonna look into reducing the fat a bit because it is definitely on the high side. So goals in going into the month of February: increase protein and try to lower fat. I'm gonna try to change the average intake for carbohydrates of fat just because I don't really eat that many carbohydrates as it is. So a lot of times, and there was a couple of days where I only consumed about 90 to 95 grams of carbohydrates. And all the ones that are high in carbohydrates, it's probably because I incorporated the popcorners into my diet last week. So, which is, it's not a bad snack. They're pretty low in calories too. So, other things to really consider is incorporate more running, especially with the 10K coming up. So running is definitely going to be a goal to start putting into February, maybe even March, in the beginning of April. Again, April 12th is the one I'm in 10K. I'm going to be trying my best to record that. So we'll have fun with it though. And then any other goals I could really think of, it's not really come to mind. It's probably going to be something I'm just going to have to change the goals throughout the week, especially trying to get better with the workout routines. Maybe see how the 15, 10, 5 to 7s go. Maybe revert back to the 10, 5 to 7, 15s. I don't really know yet. So, definitely something to keep in mind for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, everyone. Thank you for staying for the recap of the month of January and week 4. We continue on forward to February and week 5 as we continue on the weight loss journey, try to get lean like a machine. And I'll catch you everyone on the next episode of whatever I upload. Bye bye.